All right. Welcome back to episode 012 of the OK Podcast. I'm your host, Grant Broggi, and I am here quasi in studio in the upstate of South Carolina with PJ. Little slight change of plans. Hasn't been drinking enough milk. A little bit under the weather, so he's a couple blocks down the road, but the show must go on, as they say. Today is March 19th, March 19th, in the year of our Lord 2024. And it has now been 12 weeks. That's 3 months that we have come into your ears, bringing you lifting goodness, Bitcoin greatness, and lots of other things. But, you know, once you start doing stuff, you got to keep the habit going. What's the price of Bitcoin and what's the block height, PJ?
All right. Current price of Bitcoin, $62,902.
Oh, we're tanking.
Oh, it's over, dude. It's over. Down big. And the block height is 835,450. So don't worry about it. Still way up this year. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be okay.
Okay.
And, okay. You just got to keep hodling.
That's the rule.
That's the mentality. If you wait, it's like real estate. Just zoom out. And
just zoom out.
And everything goes up. It's like lifting. Just zoom out.
Right.
I'm not wrong. The difference is with Bitcoin, you just have to buy it once and do nothing. With lifting, you have to keep working hard and then zoom out.
Right. I mean, this is like today, this is like one bad workout. That doesn't mean anything. You could still get stronger this year. Doesn't matter.
Mean exactly. I mean, we're already so much stronger than we've ever been.
Yeah. All-time highs. Yeah.
So you're not feeling so good, huh?
No, I'm not. Woke up with a fever this morning. Nothing too bad. I got about a 99.7 degree fever, body aches, and some flu-like symptoms. But I'm drinking a little smoothie right now.
Ooh, nice.
Bringing me back to life.
Homemade, or you went somewhere and picked that up?
Homemade. So that's even better. And yeah, I think I'll be all right. So
what's the body weight at?
Oh, I didn't even check. I bet I'm down.
Yeah.
Down because
probably like
we'll talk about that. Probably like 181 or something like that.
If you get into the 170s, I'm going to start worrying about you.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd make it if I was in the 170s.
Yeah. That might be the end of the end, but
yeah.
Well, good. We're glad you're here, even though you're over there, but you're kind of here. Let's see. This week, have we released anything that cool? The power clean video. Did a bunch of Arnold videos. I think we've ridden the Arnold videos. I don't know that there's anything else to talk about.
Yeah, we released the different vlogs. We have the deadlift party, which I thought was fun to watch, and I mean, obviously to be out was very fun, but I think that was a lot of fun. That video, see Steve Bake just rip 850 off the ground like it's a sack of potatoes. So.
A farmer. He grows corn. He picks his corn. It's Steve the baker. What's he got cooking in the oven?
He's baking up some cookies now.
Baking up some cookies. Yeah, that was good. The Arnold videos, a lot of traction, a lot of comments, not a lot of views. Maybe it's an algorithm thing. Maybe it's a naming thing. Yeah, but so we did that. We released some clips from this podcast. I feel like I did at least one video where I just like got on and ran. Maybe that was the power clean video.
That was the power clean video.
Yeah, power clean video. Which was interesting. Fun comments there. The bench press video is still popping off. Everyone still likes to talk about the bench press. If they can bench 315. Thanks for everyone that's been listening to the podcast. We have seen an uptick in listens each week. We appreciate that. And some of you have even gone on and left a 5-star review. So keep those coming. Go comment on the podcast. Like it. Do you subscribe? Or you follow podcast? There's a button.
I think you can follow.
Yeah.
Here on the podcast app or subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a button where you can click stuff. So go click that stuff and we'll keep them coming. Today's going to be a fun show. We got the guys coming on here in just a few minutes. We're starting a couple minutes late. And then we got a guest tonight, special guest, Matios Berhe. If you're an X follower, if you follow me on X, you probably seen him. I interacted with him there a lot, but I'll save most of that for when he gets here. Any main things you want to hit before I just go on one quick little rant, Jordy?
I'll say one thing. Got my fiance to do her first starting strength workout this week. I was
she
going
started
to the
strength.
She started strength.
That's where it starts.
I was going to the gym on Monday and I said, hey, wouldn't it be fun if you went along with me? And she's a good sport and went with me. So she's committed to at least a 3-month novice linear progression. See if it turns into a 6-month. And I said, you know what? I'll take it.
Is she doing GoMad?
Oh yeah. Everyone in this household is doing GoMad. No.
Everyone needs to do GoMad.
That's right.
That's good. A new lifter. But as we know, a lifter's not born when they start lifting. A lifter's born when they're staring at the bar and wondering if they should yet again add more weight. But that's exciting. Good for you
when you're
to get her in there.
When you're going in the night before, when you're trying to fall asleep the night before and you can't sleep because you're thinking about your squats tomorrow.
Just thinking about the squats. Well, that's actually kind of ties into what I want to talk about a little bit today, because the starting strength novice linear progression, the greatest thing about it is how simple it is. The program is simple. The instructions are simple. I mean, a lot of people at first find the execution of the lifts difficult. And then when they do it for a while, they realize, oh, the execution of the lifts is not the most difficult thing in terms of form and technique. It's not rocket science. It's nothing that crazy. What becomes difficult is the programming aspect further down the line. So at first you have no idea how to squat. You learn to squat. You add a bunch of weight to the squat, and then you get stuck. And that's the thing that I think people miss a lot of times, or that they don't quite understand, is I get lifters all the time. It's great for my business. So thank you. Keep getting stuck and hiring me to coach you. But I think that people get so ingrained into 3 sets of 5, adding 5 pounds to the bar, that they forget about the process, or they even start to hate any type of progress. And the example I'll give is new lifters. They're newish lifters, people that have kind of pushed this hard. And when they get to the point where they don't get 5, 5, 5 on the squat, more specifically, the press or the bench press, and they say, I am stuck. And when I talk to these people about this, I say, well, tell me what happened. And I squatted 285 for 3 sets of 5. And then I went to 290 and I got 544. So it's over. And I always remind them, you just squatted 5 more pounds than you've ever squatted. And you did it for a total of 13 reps, which is pretty great. You should have just hit a set of 2 at the end. You would have gotten 15 total reps of this new weight. And you have proof that you have gotten stronger because you put more weight on the bar. Now, people could complain about that philosophy. They could say, well, did they get stronger? Is squatting 285 for 3 sets of 5 not stronger than 290 for 5, 4, 4, 2 or whatever? But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you produce more force, then you did something that you have never done. And I think that in the press, in the bench press particularly, people get quote unquote stuck. And so they do 5, 3, 3, they retry it. Usually when they retry it, it's even worse. They get, 4, 3, 3, and they just back down 20% and they run back towards the same wall. But what I tell people, I told a guy today, guy joined us from Minnesota. I coached him and he's in our Slack channel now, which you can join. We got 5 starting strength coaches in there, a community of over 200 lifters. It's $29 a month from the Strength Co. And you can, drop in a form check. You're not getting the kind of coaching that you're going to get from a, in-depth personal one-on-one like the gentleman today did, but you'll get some feedback. But in any event, what I told that man was I said, hey, you're not stuck. It's still going up. You're not really stuck until you go up 2.5 pounds and you get 0. And then you may not even be stuck. You're just, you need to change the program. But if you can add weight and do something, it's good and it's great. And, don't get locked into this. Starting strength is exactly what the 2 words say. It's when you're starting strength. And if you're getting to the point where you're missing reps on the squat, missing reps on the press, missing reps on the bench, the deadlift. Congratulations, because that means you've actually been training, you've actually been working hard, and you've actually been doing things that get to the point where you've reached your limits. Then you have to ask yourself the first 3 questions. Am I sleeping enough? Am I eating enough? Am I resting enough between sets? All those things come into play. But if you get to the point where you're missing reps, that is not a bad thing. I'd argue that it's a good thing, because most people just put weight on the bar, and when it gets relatively hard, they just do the same weight over and over, or they back down and they send in videos and they say, oh, this is so hard. And I watch it and I go, you could literally put 50 pounds on the bar right now. So do your 3 sets of 5, add weight to your 3 sets of 5. But when that stops, keep adding weight to the bar at first. You won't do that forever, but keep adding weight to the bar, collect reps at new weights that you've never lifted, and be happy that you are making progress, even if you're not making progress as 3 sets of 5. And remember, for sets of 3 and sets of 2 and even singles, as you're running this thing out, as you get stronger, the lower reps are okay. We don't have you do 1, 2, and 3 reps when you start, because you're weak and you're not moving much load. You're not moving much weight. And so it wouldn't do much for you to do it. So 5 is a good number where there's actually enough reps happening where you can accumulate some volume, but not so many that you're in a cardio land. But now that you've gotten your numbers up and you're running into these issues, hey, hitting a weight you've never hit for 3 sets of 3, that's fantastic. So don't beat yourself up. You've started strength, and now you're in the lovely world of a late novice, early intermediate, and that's a good place to be.
Most people never get there.
Most people never get there. They just stop. Yeah.
Well, this is exactly why I hired you. So
that's right. And look at you now. You're going to bench 315 as soon as you hit 200 pounds. I mean, Jen Thompson said it.
I mean, she did. After I did some static holds, hit 200 pounds.
Static holds, 200 pounds, 315.
Yeah. The day I hit 200 pounds, I'm going to go try it. I bet it'll go.
So your health kind of follows Bitcoin. Everything's going up. And then when you get sick, there's a little drop. So
I will say the quality of my life has been directly correlated to the price of Bitcoin for like 3 years. So
that's
4 years.
That's interesting, but we just need to get you some ivermectin and get this thing back on track.
Yeah, exactly. Does Liver King sell those?
Yeah, we'll have to check. Oh, Liver King, by the way, if anyone has Liver King's address, send it to me. Jordy, maybe you can get it. I noticed that he was at the UFC fight, and I'll make this quick because the guys are here ready to get in. He was at the UFC fight and he was wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
And that's why I was surprised. And I kind of loved it because I'm like, oh, Dana White's the real alpha here. Because he was like, you're not coming into my event with no shirt. That conversation must have happened. Because Liver King, he never wears a shirt.
No.
But he was wearing a shirt, and he's wearing a company that sounds like Vogue, rhymes with Vogue, that we won't name. And I'm like, why are you wearing this t-shirt, dude? Just call me. I'll send you an American made t-shirt, says the Strength Co. I'll send you an updated plate. So if anyone's got the Liver King's number, I got a care package and I'm ready to send.
Yeah. Send them some weight and some t-shirts.
That's right. All right. Let me let these guys in here. All right. Part 2 of episode 012 of the
Okay
podcast. And we got everyone on the line here. Mr. Jeff, I should say Biggie once in a while because I always say Buege, but it's pronounced Biggie, Buege. Joining us from wonderful Utah. We'll get a weather report from him soon. Ooh, yeah. We got Mr. Trace, but it's actually pronounced Trey. It's just spelled Tres, Trace, like Tres Generaciones.
Spelled wrong. Correct.
Yeah. Trey Gottlich, Robert Gottlich III, A&M grad. A&M grads always have to let you know they're A&M grads. So it's my job to let you know he's an A&M grad. He's in Oklahoma City today. Is that right?
The city of Oklahomas.
Yes.
Yep.
And PJ needs no introduction. Sick at his house with the immune system of Freddie Mercury. And that's where we are.
We are not the champions.
Yeah.
But we will rock you.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. So exciting show. We didn't talk about much. We started a little late. I had to set this whole place up myself. But yeah, we got a guest today who you guys don't know
Ooh.
much about, but I did tweet it or exit or thread it or Reddit or whatever. But you guys know that someone's coming on. He should be on about maybe 15 minutes from now. So I'm thinking we got a lot of sports to cover. I'm thinking we maybe cover that post guest.
Yeah,
So
post guest.
yeah, Jeff, in the sake of the slideshow,
I love our production meetings on the fly. I love how we do that.
Well, I mean,
Real
we
time.
do a lot of prep. We do a
In-stride
lot of
adjustments.
We do a lot of prep that doesn't get executed, and then we just execute. It's kind of like the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
It's
fair enough.
exactly like the Marine Corps.
Hey, we're gonna do all this planning. It's game day. Do the opposite.
Should we stick to the plan? No. Why would we do that?
Definitely not that.
What?
Definitely not that. So Jeff, what's item number 1 on the agenda?
I mean, I think we got to just kind of stick with our typical lead-off topics. I think we got enough time. So if Jordy, I mean, is the sickness, how's it affecting the body weight?
Dude, just
You don't even know. You don't want to talk about it.
Just skip me on this one.
Poor
Next
subject.
slide. It's not going to be good.
Back down to 130
Poor
pounds.
subject.
If I hit
Not
179, I'll probably get taken out. It'll just be over for me. So my frail body wouldn't be able to handle it.
Well, since he's down with the sickness and we're talking about music, I will say, Diana and I got something to eat. I was packing a lot today. I'm headed out for drill weekend, as I'm sure Jeff is. And so we ran out to get some food and we were coming back, and like I'd heard a song in the restaurant, and you know me, I like to like hear songs, sing the melody, and then change the words because I don't know the words. And I was like, first they ate dinner, then they got married. And I like kept singing it. And Diana was like, I literally have no idea what song you're even trying to do. And
Sorry.
yeah. Okay, so what song is that?
It's
Yeah, I'm cheating now. On the front lawn, sprinklers turn on.
Oh.
No,
you just make that up. That's made
first
up.
you get hurt, then you feel sorry. No one knows this one.
I know the song. Like I've heard it. I couldn't tell you who sings it.
It's Cold War Kids first. Cold War Kids. The song.
Cold War
first.
Kids.
Yeah, Cold War Kids. Yeah. Anyway, totally irrelevant. I'm sorry. Next slide.
Hey, I've seen them live. Good concert.
Have you really?
It was like way back in the day.
I mean, that still counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Civil War still happened.
They were Cold War babies.
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah.
Cold War Kids.
Trey, you want to dive into your lifting question?
Oh yeah. Do we have time to get into that now?
Yeah, we got time. We can leave guests in waiting rooms.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So lifting question of the week, right? If you got, first of all,
amateur lifting update.
Yeah. Amateur lifting update. Let me see. Pulling heavy tomorrow on deadlift, going for 460.
So you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like all the way back.
Trying to. Yeah, I did 390 yesterday. 3 sets of 5 for squat. Bench. I think I was at 285 yesterday.
Okay.
Nice.
Press. I can't remember what I am at press. But question now. First of all, we're still sponsored by BW Tax, right?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Jordy, is there a button I can hit over here?
Yeah, you have to turn up the slider next to, I think slider 7, and hit the first sound pad, the upper left.
7, and
This
then
man knows his
upper
machine,
left.
knows his equipment.
That one.
It's lit up light blue.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Attention orders.
Try a different slider.
That's what I love. What I've always loved
There we
about
go.
BW Tax is, you could be someone like me. I have a W-2 job still. Got to support the wife, the kids. There you go. Kids, there's child tax credits. It's the government has really created a wild maze that is income tax and loopholes and all that. And that's what the folks at BW Tax that's their bread and butter.
That's what they do.
That's what they're known for and what they've come to be.
This is my favorite part.
So excellent at, and that's why you could talk to them remotely, even if you're from some place in the sticks like Western Northeast South Dakota. You can still talk to a warm body at BW Tax. It's not a bot. It's not a Chat GPT service. It's real people there providing a real service, and that's what I love about them at bwtax.
bwtaxllc.com.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I like about them.
I just
now I turn the sliders down.
Yeah, then you're good.
Okay,
the warmest of bodies.
Yeah, BW Tax.
It's their bread and butter.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So
What I
amateur
love.
lifting, amateur lifting question. You ready? So,
Okay.
It's like I said, tax questions go to BW. If I got a question about lifting, go to Grant.
There we go.
Do that every week. So I've come to find myself. I've started coaching or coaching. I use that term quotation marks, helping Abby out as she's kind of started getting to lifting. Right. We had one of our strength coach slackers, as I call him. He came over to the dojo.
Yeah.
And we kind of gave him some pointers on that. So I don't know. I've kind of found myself kind of giving tips every now and then, kind of helping friends out, maybe giving pointers on what to do, what not to do. I don't know. What's trying to be a better coach? What are some kind of tips? Do you have any like things, do's and don'ts kind of thing to maybe stay away from or lean into kind of thing?
Oh, you want me to give away the company trade secrets?
It's just Grant's trade secrets.
It's just Grant's trade secrets. Well, I think Jeff will have probably maybe just as much to say about this as I do.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. What I often tell people, I would say two things, like forget the minutia of form and, this way, low bar squat versus that. I think like two important things. One for you, if you're not a coach, but like you've been lifting and you've been studying and you've worked with a coach and you've like read a book with like how to do something. I always tell people, hey, remember, whoever you're helping is way better off with you than without you. And that sounds like so basic, but it's so true, right? So Abby walks into that gym and you're like, hey, here's the book, Starting Strength, go do 3 sets of 5 on the squat, read this. That versus you walking out with your knowledge of like, me coaching you 10 years ago and, the little bit you've picked up over the years, you being able to, oh no, I think you're supposed to put your thumb on top of the bar. Like, no, widen your stance. They're always way better with someone that's lifting than they are without someone. And then the second part, I think, is really if it depends, on the person, if you want them to leave feeling encouraged. And that's not like my sales hat on. That's like keep people lifting hat on. Like you want them to, like, yes, you're having to fix things. If they're squatting high, you have to find a way to talk to them to get them to depth. But you have to be careful to not just be like constantly everything being, I don't want to say negative, but just, ripping everything apart. Cause you want the person to leave thinking like, hey, I learned something and I'm better off than I was. And those are the two things that I think are kind of like the skills you can't teach. Cause the first one produces confidence. If you actually think, hey, whatever I say to this person is better for them, then you'll be more confident in what you're saying, which will go better. And then 2, if you say something to them and they're leaving like encouraged and liking the experience that they have, then they'll come back. And if they keep going back, then they'll obviously get better. Those are kind of the two. What do you, Jeff, you got years of CrossFit coaching.
Yeah. And I think that's all like really like spot on kind of insight there. And then once you kind of get into you find with people that are, early on to coaching or just don't have a ton of like experience under their belt, is like they'll want to correct everything they see. And it's kind of like just break it down to like 1 or 2 things that you think you're gonna get the most like bang for your buck out of. Like if it's the person squatting high, like Grant saying, like, all right, try to see what cue gets them to depth. And then like let them know, like, yep, you're hit, like that one looked good, like that one looked good. And then maybe move on to like the next kind of most like glaring fault, and not just be like, well, okay, on this next rep, think about hitting depth, but also like driving knees out and keeping like pressure in your belly, and like giving them 10 different things to think about. And they're like, I don't have any idea what's happening. And they're just going to get very like just overwhelmed with like cues and corrections. So
I think the first time I was like coaching Abby, like she did the first one. And I like gave her like 10 different things to fix.
Yeah.
And then like this second set looked like twice as bad as that first one.
Yeah. The general rule of thumb I would always say when coaches were coming to the gym would be like, say less. Like of all the things that are going, because they're seeing, you know, if someone's like studying a model, whether it's CrossFit or starting strength or whatever it is, and they're seeing 10 things and they're trying to like fix all of them. It's like, hey, just stop for a second and think about like, what's the one thing that they can fix right now? Yes, say less. But I think like all that, but I think the most important part is like your confidence, even if you're just like, you don't even have to view yourself as like a coach. I'm not aspiring to be a coach and like make a living after this. View yourself as a lifting partner and like, hey, I mean, that's why I always tell people when I get like a couple that comes in or two dudes come in and hire me, I'm just like, hey, you may not know how to fix everything, but you can tell that dude if he's squatting high. Yeah. And like, that's your job is look for hip crease, kneecap, and be like, you're high. And then maybe he finishes the set and goes, why am I high? And you may have no idea. You're like, well, I don't know, but we got to figure it out because you're 3 inches above parallel.
That's
what's
high.
Out of like all the 4 different lifts, we'll do the 4 main one. Which one do you find the most difficult to kind of coach up? Like squat, deadlift.
Squat,
you think squat?
Yeah, I think the squat, actually by a large margin.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, so if you come in and lift with me for the first time, we do an hour session. We're going to squat for about 35 minutes and then we're going to press and deadlift in the next 25. Now I've been doing this for a while. So like I can teach the deadlift really quickly. I would say when I first started, I thought the deadlift was harder because I didn't like understand how to get people's low back into position, but with experience, you figure that out. But I think the squat, there's just more going on. Got to write down. You got to bring it back up. If it's the bar position's wrong, a lot of things fall apart. If the hand positioning's wrong, elbow positioning. I mean, there's just, I think there's just way more going on in the squat.
Hip drive.
Yeah. That's a good amateur lifting question.
Fair enough. Yeah, man. It's like I said, seems like I've had a couple people ask me questions here recently. And I feel like kind of like what Jeff was saying, my biggest problem is I just throw like 10 different things at them at one time. So I think that's good advice. Kind of just like find one thing at a time, fix that, then move on to the next one. So. Yeah. And I think what'll be interesting is if you keep having slackers over to your house. But no, seriously, if you keep helping people, you'll get better as a lifter. I mean, that's how, when I first found the program, starting strength, started running it and started like, you know, then running it with my platoon, I had no like thoughts of like, I want to become a coach. It would be like Nolan Hickey would be like, well, my lacrosse coach told me to stand like this in the squat. Shut up, Nolan.
Yeah. Shut up, Nolan. And I'd be like, why should he do? And I would go back to the book or I would read or I would think about it. And it causes you to kind of learn. I think helping people out's the best. And that's good.
That's it. Next slide, man.
That's it.
Nice.
Next slide.
All right.
Do we want to dive into something or do we want to wait on the guest? What do we think?
Well, I think you can never wait on a guest because you never know if a guest is going to show up.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Okay. I think this is when we have a topic. We didn't get to it last time. I don't think. Did we talk about daylight savings time?
Oh, no, but don't get me started.
No, but it is a great one.
Subject.
A lot of,
too soon.
Yeah. People have a lot of.
First, isn't there a state who just
passion.
Says like, I'm not doing this?
Now.
Arizona for sure.
I think Indiana doesn't. Is that
right, Jordy? You would know.
It's got to be recent if that's true.
I mean, you got the power of the internet at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Arizona just goes, nah, I'm good.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they changed
time zones.
They kind of did that in 2020 too, didn't they? Hey, close everything. Nah, we're good. We'll just stay open. Yeah.
Oh, you can do that. I'm not. I'm good.
We're not doing that. Okay. Well, I guess I'll give my first hot take, unless Jordy has the facts there.
Oh, just a quick fact. Yeah, so I was there. I was like, we definitely had daylight saving time. A bill exempting Indiana from daylight savings time was introduced to the Indiana General Assembly in 2024. So might be coming.
Okay.
The OK Podcast, powered by the Strength Co., sponsored by BW Tax, bringing you your latest and most current political news. If you have questions about taxes, call BW Tax. If you got questions about lifting, call Grant. And if you want a good time, call Trey. Trey's really laughing at that one.
So it just sounded so dirty.
Yeah. So So my thought this week that I talked about was 36 years I've dealt with this. Although, when did daylight savings time start?
It's been going for a while.
I think
as long as I can remember.
I don't think my whole life, but as long as I can remember.
1920. 19 what?
1918.
Okay, 1918. So as long as
it came around because of like agriculture and farming.
Yeah.
They talked about it in Nicolas Cage talked about it. It's National Treasure.
National Treasure. So as long as I've been alive, I've been dealing with this. And every year I'm like shocked. Like, whoa, I can't believe it's light out so late. Like, whoa, my sleep pattern changes. And you would think that you would, but every year it's like a brand new experience. Like you just get, and it's just 1 hour, 60 minutes.
1 hour.
Yeah.
You know, this is a classic situation. Apparently, daylight savings time was a temporary government program.
Classic.
It was
seen that before.
A wartime measure for 7 months during World War I in interest of adding more daylight hours to conserve energy resources. Temporary.
Fascinating. Trey, do you have a thought on it?
No. It's like it's kind of like one of those things like when do you gain an hour? Fall back, right?
Yeah.
So you get an extra hour of sleep in the fall.
The fall is better. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, way better.
Yeah.
Spring forward, fall back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always super happy in the fall. I'm always kind of upset in the spring, but I don't know, man.
The fish start biting in the spring.
I agree with you. It's kind of.
But why are we still doing it? You know? Like, what's the point now? We all have
governmental control.
You tell them, Jeff.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They want to keep their thumb under their thumb.
Jeff's
that's what it is.
Flat Earth theory. It has to be something to do with that.
Conspiracy theorist.
Let me tell you this:
daylight savings,
whenever we faked that moon landing, that's when we changed the time. So that's how that goes.
I also love that the Marine Corps was like, well, that's when we'll go sleeves up, sleeves down with daylight savings time. And
that's why
we'll change the color of our pants, like for our dress uniform. Like, this seems like such a random thing to like tie this to. But
wait, so are my sleeves up this weekend?
Your sleeves up.
Sleeves up, sun's out, guns out.
Good sleeve rolls.
Get them real tight.
All right, let's get this guest in here. One sec.
I don't know if we want to talk about flat Earth and time zones. To start off,
I say let's just hop straight into it.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think about flat Earth?
That's super fire. How can we tell in the first place? You know what I mean?
All right, let's introduce you a little bit. The OK Podcast, episode 012, powered by the Strength Co., brought to you by our friends at BW Tax, which I hope that Matios Berhe has done a little research on BW Tax so he can give us an ad read later. We have one sponsor. We're open to more sponsors. Hit us up at the okpod@gmail.com if you would like to become a sponsor. But let me tell you, the list is long and the odds of you getting in is short or small or tiny.
Slim.
It's
Slim.
flat like the earth.
Flat like the earth.
Yeah, we turned down Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, that's right. We did. Matios Berhe, and Matios taught me that rather than knowing a language, the important is knowing how to correctly pronounce a few words. Like, for example, tres generaciones. And so Matios
you speak Spanish.
That's what you think. Or if I say, as my Italian neighbor says, no, you're saying it wrong. It's Grant Broggi. Broggi. There's no H there. It's Broggi. It's not Broggi. It's Broggi. So a little bit of pronunciation goes a long way. But Matios joining us from Redlands, California. Matios, we've only had a few guests. I think you're like number 6 or 7. And the first ones have all been surprises. Wow. But then when you went and tagged us on Instagram, I got text of, who is this guy? So why don't you just answer that question? Who is this guy?
Excellent. Just a dad with a big mouth, honestly. That's my bad, coach. I didn't mean to, I
I confused because like Instagram has a different etiquette than Twitter does. So that's my bad because I'm primarily
it's X.
You be you, baby.
Twitter.
Never change.
Yeah. Y'all hurt.
Yeah, but why don't you give these guys a little bit of backstory because they have no idea why you're here, how you know me. Why don't you get? I mean, Jeff has a little bit of backstory. I think you guys chatted at the wedding and stuff, but just a little bit of like how you came into be with the Strength Co, the podcast, etc.
Yeah, I feel that because like who I am. I mean, do any of us know who any of us are really? But I met Coach on Twitter back when it was called Twitter. Sorry.
Facts.
Right. Yeah. So back when it was called Twitter, I met Coach on X. I was on a thread talking about the merits of yoga. Now, look, I still stand by this, dude, because I think hamstring health is number one. If you don't have hamstrings, you can't dance cumbia, and that's a problem. But I was talking about yoga, and then Coach asked the question, do you even lift? And I felt offended, you know what I mean? Like mildly threatened, because no, but what does that question, what does that got to do with anything, dude? So I responded with that no, and then he was like, hey, send me your credit card information. So then I sent it, and then he was like, all right, I'll see you at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And then I went like idiot. Like an idiot.
Gotcha.
Actually, the credit card information.
Wait, is that exactly how
That's literally what happened, Jeff. He was like, hey, send me your credit card. This is the guy that just threatened me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're like, okay.
Yeah, and he's like, send me your credit card information. And I was like,
so it started, hey, I like yoga. Do you even lift? No.
Pay me.
Send me your credit card. See you at 5. That's how that just
like that. And then when I was there, he was like, you're here. But I said I was going to be there. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, don't people act on what they say? You know?
You got my credit card. I got to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I literally gave him my address because he needed that too. That was weird. So I was like, all right, bro. Like, and then it was just Coach from that day on. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever pronounced his first name. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
I don't even know what it is. Yeah.
The rest is history. Thanks for joining us, Matios. You've been a great addition to the episode. No, just kidding.
I'll see you guys. Always a pleasure, Coach.
Yeah. So
first of all, I've heard you got great hamstrings though.
So appreciated. Yeah, dude. I mean, I can dance forever, honestly. They look like nothing, you know, but I'm more of functional. That's why I'm fat. You know what I mean? Like there's no.
When you say yoga, are you doing hot yoga? Are you doing regular yoga?
No, I was doing regular yoga. I feel personally that hot yoga is cheating because it doesn't do anything really for your hamstrings. You know, you're just preconditioning yourself to being limber like a bamboo.
Did Grant ever tell you his yoga joke?
Grant.
He said,
Coach?
Sorry, Coach, yeah, my bad.
No,
was it Grant? What do you go? Not namaste?
Namaste.
Oh yeah, namaste. That's what they say. That
namaste.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
You got to be comfortable with the stillness, though, Coach. Right, bro.
You know that's not me.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I'd be lying. I don't do yoga.
So, but we do want to we're trying to branch out, talk about more things than just lifting, Bitcoin, politics, and flat Earth. And I don't know. I gave these guys a little bit of a bio on you, but it was really just kind of like LMAO exclamation.
That part.
I learned a lot.
Yeah. For that transcription.
Yeah.
But there was some stuff about occupational health. You work with special needs.
Behavioral health.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
explain it to me.
For my license sake, sir, I am not an occupational therapist. I work as a board certified behavior analyst in Southern California. So I'm with three or four different clinics. And I mean, the primary thrust of our job is working with kids with special needs. We're working with kids diagnosed with autism. But our services, we're behavior health. Like we function in the same capacity as psychology at times. Some of my colleagues may be mad at that, you know, and maybe even other people from other fields may be upset at that. But that's what the insurances say, because those are the codes that we build. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're not trying to make it up. We're just getting authorizations and kind of following through as that.
So you're saying it overlaps sometimes? Is that what you're saying with psychology?
Yeah. Absolutely. There is some overlap. I mean, for us, we approach things similar to the strength code method. We're all about incremental changes, small adaptations. And we know that over time, that's exactly the kind of stuff that adds up. So, in our work, like we care, there's a lot of people with big hearts, but inspiration doesn't take you far. It's just that systematic progression that does. Not getting caught up in whatever you were doing before, thinking to yourself that, hey, this is the method that works. It's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of trial and a lot of errors, but you're always looking to correct those. Like you want to get rid of those. So yeah, I mean, similar to the lifting, you know what I mean? I know very early, just kind of taper off, coach is like, you're not eating. Like, look at me, bro. Yeah, you're not eating. All right. Fine. It's like, stop that whole. I caught myself. Yeah.
What's the age range you deal with?
I mean, we work basically with 3 to 22, but personally, I'm working with people across the lifespan.
Oh. Okay. So like once you have a client, you're kind of stuck with them. Like once a guy gives you his credit card information, shows up at 5 a.m. and then comes into the gym, turns the shower on, goes to get his clothes, has the shower head facing the Pilates studio, floods the Pilates studio and ruins an entire wall and shatters the drywall. Once that happens,
I feel like there's a story here.
They're a client for life.
No, that seems random.
Yeah, it seems random. Greg just made it up.
I just made that up. Yeah.
That was a super file freestyle, honestly.
Yeah.
Always coach like, dang, you just be spitting.
So we had this bathroom in the Villa Park gym, RIP. And the Villa Park gym, I wanted a bathroom because the first one didn't have one. And there was like a room that shouldn't be a shower, but I found a contractor. He's like, I can make it a shower. You getting permits? I was like, I'm definitely not getting permits. I can say this all now because the company's closed. So we built the shower and it's like a half wall, plastic frame corner shower with a round curtain. And so the thing was like point the shower head all the way to the right. So it hits the wall, make sure the shower curtain is inside the tub. And no one really used it besides coaches. But occasionally it was a selling point when you'd get an excuse like a classic Matios Berhe who would say, Coach, I'd be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, except I got to be at work in Ontario by 8:30 and I can't get back home and shower and change. And so it's always fun when people say things like that because then you just immediately take away the excuse. And I go, oh, we actually have a shower here, but I didn't see it. I'm like, well, it's a private shower. It's my shower, but you're welcome to use it. And he's like, bet. So he comes the next day. And he comes for a while and he used it a few times with no issue. And then the Pilates studio was next door who hated us. The landlord was on my side. We soundproof. We did quiet rock. We did everything. They did nothing, but they would be like, they're over there trying to achieve Zen and we're over here trying to achieve freedom.
Clink.
I mean, just boom, boom. And so Matios goes on and that hot water, I mean, it must have taken 15 minutes to get hot. So he had figured that out. So he just turns it on hot and he like goes to get his stuff and then classic Matios fashion gets in a conversation and then goes in there and showers and thinks nothing and then turns it off. It's like 7 a.m. I do a couple one-on-ones and like I'm leaving and the Pilates manager's like, we're flooded next door. And I'm like, oh really? We're not having a water leak here. Is there a main line issue, you think? And then I opened up the bathroom. I was like, oh, I understand why they're flooded now. But, yeah.
Yeah, they should have had better walls. That's on them, man.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Stop the spread.
Less Zen, more walls.
2 weeks.
That part.
That's right.
Higher walls.
So, what do you think about the phrase, can you teach an old dog new tricks?
I buy in. I mean,
you can. So you can teach them new tricks, what you're saying.
Look, I've never even really been around dogs personally.
That's fair.
Yeah, so but like older people, I think 70-year-olds could learn how to use computers and deadlift.
I think he was talking about in line with your line of work.
Yeah, this was just about dogs, old dogs.
No, mainly dogs.
I imagine like if you got a dog, you just its favorite treats because like dogs like treats, right? Or like
they like treats.
Yeah. So I would just do that. It's like, get it into a position I like. All right, here's a piece of meat. And then when it's sitting down for no reason, hey, here's a piece of meat. And then it's sitting down again for no reason randomly. Here's a piece of meat. And if it comes up to me, I just won't give it anything.
We're talking about dogs, not men.
Now we are talking about dogs.
Yeah, we're talking about what? That's talking about.
I mean, it could work for somebody on carnivore diet.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
Hilarious.
So would you say that you're a behavioral psychologist, or you just use the tools of behavioral psychology?
Thank you for that question, sir. Yeah. I use the tools. You know what I mean? I'm licensed. Yeah. I don't identify with most of the underlying philosophy. I think it's utter madness. Like,
so my follow-up question was, if you do that, what's your general take on the state of psychology in general today? Because on one hand, things like behavioral psychology, it seems like there's a lot of things that's real about that. But on the other hand, something like 50% of academic papers in psychology don't reproduce. So you have a problem there too.
Yeah, Jordy.
The heck, did you just Google that question?
No, I'm just a nerd.
Chat GPT to write that? What's going on?
Go, dude.
I knew he'd like it.
He has no idea what he just opened up.
Oh man, I love it. No, I think this raises a beautiful question, because we're looking at science as a method. Like, whenever we're talking about knowledge as is, or what are facts, we don't just mean things that everyone can see. Like, we have prescribed ways of figuring this thing out. Our society is built around it. And as Americans, man, this comes from America. People underestimate the influence of these guys called the American pragmatists. All that is thanks to Dewey, Peirce, and William James. You're welcome, everybody, everywhere. But also, to your point, like, the whole point of science is to approach knowledge. So everyone should be coming in with the general feel that I'm approximating the truth. I don't have the whole thing. And that's the point of replication and rerunning experiments and giving people, hey, here's how I ran what I ran, and here's how I found the conclusions that I did.
You don't just trust the science?
You know, I think that is also a great question. I trust the methods.
Right.
I trust God, Jordy.
Amen.
That's where I'm at. We're leading with the heart. Yeah. Methods, though, are dope.
So there's a method. There's a method to the madness.
I mean, absolutely. You know, there's some philosophers of science who think that madness is actually the way. They'll call it scientific anarchism. And because they're saying, like, we don't need a systematic way of coming up with the test. If I have a thought, I should be able to test it. And who cares where I got it from? If we test it and it holds true, that's replication. So then there are other questions we should be asking. There's more we should be looking into the thing. So to your point, Jordy, whenever there's science that does fail, I think we should come with the understanding that is going to happen. Now, what I don't appreciate is how people do the kind of sleight of hand thing where they're talking to you in universals. They're telling you, hey, this is the case. It blows up in their face and they're like, well, we did the best we could given the, like, no, you didn't. That's coercion. Just speaking generally, randomly.
Jordy, you got to be careful handing this guy Chat GPT questions. So, Matios, now that everyone's logged off and is no longer listening, we want to bring the fam that's still here in. So, like, there's a couple things. I want to kick it over to Jeff to ask you like a sports question, because we like to talk about sports. But first, do you know, like, can you give us your own rendition or take of the name of this podcast?
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That was really good.
That might be the best one yet.
That is first try. That was
repetition.
That was good.
You saw the one, you didn't see the 1,000 before.
Oh.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He took today off work. He's been saying that in the mirror. Repetition, right? Repetition.
We didn't mention the date, right? We didn't say the date because I definitely called in sick.
Yeah, but we said the block height, so you're screwed because the big is going to find out.
All right.
But,
no one knows what it means. So you're safe.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna round robin a little bit. Jeff will ask you something about sports. Trey will ask you something about music, and Jordy will ask you something about lifting. And Jordy, don't use Chat GPT again, or we'll never be able to turn Matios off. So just like a normal question. So we'll kick it over to Jeff first.
That's a good question, that dude.
That was a great question.
Really good question.
That was a great question.
I was like,
Grant will bring it down. I'll bring it up, baby. That's a good question.
Yeah, I think I have to watch Star Wars to understand his answer, though.
Hey, that's a good film, man. I don't care what the haters got to say. Anyway,
Ooh.
sorry.
The haters being Grant. Yeah.
Subject.
No way, coach. Why?
I'm not a hater. I've just
Why?
never seen it.
Oh, my bad. All right, let's watch it.
He's a hater. Don't let him fool you, dude.
Yeah, he's a hater.
I'm told. Don't shatter my image, guys.
All right, Jeff.
All right, yeah, sports question. So it's coming up this weekend. We're going to kick off the men's NCAA college basketball tournament. You following it at all? You got a Final Four prediction? Who do you think is going to win it all?
Man, that is super fire. I think we're just going to have to keep it on the West Coast, UCLA all the way. Are they even in?
They're not in.
Oh,
They'll have a tough
baby.
time
But-
winning it.
You know who
Look.
is? Long Beach State.
LBC, baby.
Right.
That's-
Look, respectly.
Hey.
That's cool. That's cool.
So you want to know something
I love Long Beach,
interesting?
my bad. Yes,
You want to know
please.
interesting? Long Beach State used to have a football team, no longer does. Used to have a mascot, no longer does.
It does.
Do you know who the last mascot, the human being inside the Long Beach State mascot
Wow.
was? You know this person. No, I don't think maybe Jeff knows who this is. But the last,
Have I met him?
You've met him. Everyone here has met him.
I think I know who it is.
Bayon?
Not Bayon, but that's a good,
Oh,
that's an interesting
Dang,
take.
I was about to fade. Like,
He's white.
He has mascot energy, if
Yeah.
it's the one I'm thinking of.
He has mascot
white.
energy. Yep.
Shashank? Sorry.
No.
Is he
It's
a
no
coach?
One, it's
Is
no
he
one
a
from
coach?
Twitter. He's a coach. Keep
Oh, I
throwing
know
out
exactly
the
who it is.
breadcrumbs.
Is his last name a King?
His last name is King.
Is it
He's-
Coach King?
It's Coach King, SSC. I forget that you only deal in X. Yeah, Connor King was the last mascot of Long
Hey.
Beach State.
Yo.
Checks out.
he has mascot energy. I
Yeah.
see that 100%.
He does. So,
Nah,
I like it.
brilliant soul.
so you're rooting for Long Beach State.
All day. Yeah,
Okay.
you knew that from day one. I've always been about Long Beach State. That's what I'm-
Always.
Yeah, always.
Since forever.
He's down with the LBC, baby.
All right,
you
we're
know
gonna
me.
Trey, kick us over to some music, and
We're doing some music stuff. So you mentioned cumbias earlier, right?
Sure. Yes.
So let's say
Cumbias.
cumbias.
Wow,
Cumbias.
that was perfect, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. That was perfect. Said it with confidence. So if I'm let's say I'm just like a guy off the street and I want to get in some Latino music. What are give me some like, hey, these are the heavy hitters that you got to put on a playlist and listen to.
Oh man, brilliant question. Sonora Santanera is a band. I don't even know where in Mexico they're from, honestly speaking.
Guerrero.
Are they?
No, I just say that because I know how to pronounce it.
I don't know.
Fire. That was fire. Yeah,
it
they
sounded
could
right.
be. That's,
They could
that's
be.
not a yes.
Said it with confidence.
Yeah, people ain't throwing that
Guerrero.
like that. That's super fire. But shout out there's a bunch of cumbia from Colombia. I think originally that's where cumbia originates from. But
Yeah.
like most of us are more hey, I'll say it like that. Most of us care about cumbia because of what Mexico did for cumbia. And people don't want to hear it, man. They don't want to hear it, but I think that's the conversation that needs to be had. So anyway, Sonora Santanera, they're a group out of possibly Guerrero, maybe not.
That area, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
That region of South Texas.
That region of the world.
Somewhere in South Texas, they're from.
Between Montana and like Oaxaca.
Argentina. Yeah.
Oaxaca.
Argentina.
Oaxaca.
Yeah,
That's a good
somewhere in
one.
that lane.
That's a good one to learn how to pronounce. Oaxaca.
Oaxaca.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. All this
What
other
about?
stuff.
I feel like a
Yep,
little
that's fine.
disrespect by the fact that you did not mention Javier Solis.
You know what? That's super fire. I thought Trey's question was about
It was.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. But now
It's
you're
a-
right. So Javier Solis is the truth. Brilliant singer, also coming out of the golden age of Mexico. He sings a style of music called bolero, which comes from Cuba. He sings it in a style called rancheras, which is out of Mexico and the mariachis. Dude, it is just soul-shattering music. Like one of his biggest hits is saying something like it's nothing but like shadows and fog in between the space of our lives, you know. And that was a pop song.
Oh,
Like,
dude, it's
yeah.
deep.
Deep.
Yeah, dude, I'll just sit there and cry, dog. It's so
It sounds like daylight savings, to be honest.
all day. Circadian's all messed up. I'm getting moody with my kids, but in the loving way. You know what I mean?
Wait, ladies love me like Aventura, right?
Hey,
That's the Drake song, right? Yeah. I would see
Drake.
who's the other guy. I was watching a clip. It was like a YouTube. They're kind of going into the history of it. Was it Sanchez Chalino Sanchez? Who I was watching a document or like somebody interview, and they like handed him a death note, and then he like threw it away and sang his last song. Do you see that?
Oh man, that's wild. That's powerful.
Because he made somebody in the cartel upset. It's a cool story, man. Well, not for him, but for me, it was cool. Yeah,
right.
It's a good YouTube video.
Yeah, you good YouTube video. So
yeah,
we're checking out that story. Yeah, if you get a chance.
I got to check it out. Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with his music. Yeah. Bandas also,
Bandas. All right, Jordy.
All right. I don't have a lifting question, but I have a different question that I think will be fun.
Okay.
So you may have heard that Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson. Who you got?
Oh man, Tyson. No,
wow.
Yeah.
He's 58.
I know, but power goes last. I mean, we literally know that.
We know this.
We know this, dude.
He need more than power.
Oh,
man, he's 58.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was younger than that. Dang.
Though.
I mean, but they got TRT and all that kind of stuff now, right?
That's a good point. Yeah,
he's juiced.
I don't want to get punched.
Between TRT and the vaccine, there's no way he loses.
No, there's no way. There's no way. I think Jake Paul gets touched. Bad.
It's over.
Yeah, I like what Jake Paul is doing. Don't get me wrong. I think it's obnoxious. It's just beautiful, man. It's wonderful to see. It's like that SpaceX launch the other day.
Right.
What is Jake Paul doing?
He's going to space in Elon Musk's rocket, apparently.
To the moon.
That's Bitcoin.
What?
Yeah. That's a job.
Thank you, Trey. No, excellent. My bad. Yeah, I just chase nouns, dude. I don't know what we've been talking about. I've just been.
It's all right, man. That's it.
I'm like,
that's me.
Yeah.
That's me every week, brother. That's me every week.
That's hilarious.
Wait, so when is that fight, Jordy?
I'm not sure. I just know it'll be on Netflix. I can look up the date.
Oh, damn. Go ahead.
I saw
it's brilliant. It'll be like the most watched Fox fight in boxing ever, probably.
It's actually genius of Netflix to put that on there.
Oh yeah,
it's just on your phone right there. If you have Netflix, you can just turn it on. Like I'm going to turn it on.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. I mean, I'd subscribe to Peacock if they made me. Like, I mean, whatever I gotta do.
That's where Jeff watches all of his soccer. So
don't subscribe to Peacock. It's so bad.
Peacock?
No, they got that one show. They got the Fosters and then all the spinoffs of the Fosters after.
What's the Fosters? I've never heard of that show. Is it good?
It was this show about these ladies who adopt kids and then they all grow up. It's just crazy, bro.
Oh, like foster parents?
Like foster parents.
Yeah. And then they're the fosters, then they're the family, and then they grow up and then they follow two of the daughters to New York and they start being lawyers and then
So it's like Meet the Parents meets a foster family.
Man, that's beautiful. Nah, it's like the Goonies on Lifetime.
Okay, so here's the problem, Matios.
I'm taking you home with me now.
I just made a cultural reference, which I'm usually really bad at, by saying Meet the Parents. And I just thought I was going to go out on a win. And then you mentioned the Goonies, and I don't even know what that is. And so now I'm so lost.
It's an 80s classic.
Grant's cultural reference. You got to keep it in the box, dude. Keep it in the box.
Small.
I'm shocked right now. He made fun of me for not knowing how to use AirDrop, man. And you didn't know the Goonies this whole time? That's crazy.
I mean, mine was more relevant to be
asking me. I don't know.
Debatable.
Yeah, I don't know now.
The Goonies,
AirPod's pretty old, dude.
Was that that's fine. Sorry, I heard what you said and I cried. Goonies, who directed that? Was that Spielberg?
No, there's no way that was Spielberg.
It was Scorsese.
That's
Spielberg went from Goonies to Schindler's List.
I think it's the guy that did Django Unchained.
Quentin Tarantino.
Is it Richard Donner? Which I don't know that.
We don't even know. All right,
we don't even know.
I don't think that was it. Yeah,
brother Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Brother Jeffrey Donner.
So Matios, we're like rookies at having guests. And so we're going to just, there's two things that are going to happen. We're going to let you ask each of us a quick little question that we'll answer. You're on the hot seat. Welcome to the OK Podcast hot seat. You were the first guest on the OK Podcast hot seat. Never has anyone asked us a question. You asked us a quick question. And then we're going to give you some facts about a tax company, a tax advisory LLC that operates here. We'll give you a few nuggets of information about it, and then you'll give your best sponsored ad read. But first, freestyle. You can rap it, you can sing it, you can do it however you want. But first, just take it around the room. Start with whoever you want. Just a quick hot take of what you want to know about the sponsors or the host of the OK Podcast.
Got you. Damn hot. Oh, sorry for that. Hot seat.
Yeah, we're so offended.
Yeah,
kick him off.
Hey, Jordy, can you edit that out?
Yeah. Please.
Please do. Honestly,
Fix it in post.
Get a swear jar
in public.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So my first question is for Jordy. Setup that you have in the 54th floor of your spot in Miami, is that still there? Is that what you're doing still? What's going on with that?
No, that's over with. I was on the 19th floor of an apartment building in Miami when I lived.
Felt like the 54th.
Basically the 54th. You couldn't really feel the difference.
It feels the same. After 15, it feels the same.
When the birds fly, in front of your window and below it, you're just like, okay, well, this is just high.
High enough. Yeah.
I got tired of going and paying for a gym and walking down the street and having to go over there and then there's only like 2 squat racks. You got to wait for it and all this stuff. And I was just like, I'll just build a strength coach gym in my second bedroom. And so I did that. But I moved. So I'm not in Miami anymore. I'm actually like 2 blocks from Grant in Greenville, South Carolina right now.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Miami's fun to visit. Not my favorite place to live, but that's another conversation.
Will Smith likes it.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
I mean, I get it.
Is that from the movie I, Robot?
No. No.
Some Star Wars.
It's from Star Wars.
So I am Legend.
Big Willie style, right? Oh,
Big Willie style, baby.
Big Willie style.
All right, Matios, keep it going. Who you got next?
Big Willie energy.
You're on the hot seat.
Got you, Trey. I'm impressed with your knowledge of music, Trey. Do you have a background in music? Is this something you studied? Were you in a band in high school? Do you still sing? Can you?
None of the above. None of the above.
Actually, sing.
I can't sing worth a lick. Actually, it's it's something that I've always been into, man. I enjoy live music, so I always like going to concerts, music festivals, whatever it might be. Actually, that's how me and Jeff met initially. Is I invited Jeff to a concert, and Jeff said no, and I just went by myself. So that's how we first met initially. But no, man, it's just something I've always loved music, man. I play the piano a little bit, not really, but it's just something. I don't know. I'm not picky when it comes to it, but I kind of like a little bit of everything.
Did you just say you play piano?
Not so well. Fire. Like I can read. So my mom, like growing up, going to church, my mom like, hey, you need to learn how to read sheet music. So she goes, play piano. And then that's how I learned. So
man, that is beautiful. The Psalms don't sing themselves.
There you go.
That's the fire.
Keep going.
Who said that?
Abraham Lincoln.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
True.
Hey, Jeff. My bad. That was wait, so you I guess my follow-up question to you, Jeff, though, is how did you guys meet? But then how did you personally get to that place of met him there? Like where were you before? What were you doing? And then why were you somewhere where he could have invited you to a restaurant?
And you could say no.
So
Jeff hates this story.
I love this story. So we were both in the same battalion in the Marine Corps. So like Grant and I showed up, and then Trey was in like the artillery class behind us. So Grant and I get to 5th Battalion, 11th Marines, Tango Battery. We're there for a couple months, and then Trey's class graduates artillery school, and Trey checks into 511. He's in Sierra Battery, so a adjacent battery.
Rivals.
But like my mindset at the time was like, oh, if you're not Tango Battery, like I don't want to know you. Like you ain't shit. Like don't talk to me. And so I remember like one day being at the Armory where like, Trey and I like were passing by or whatever. And for some, Trey's a very like jovial, talkative guy, can talk to anybody, like super friendly. And yeah, I think we ended talking about music or something like that. Trey like asked me like, "Oh, I've got tickets to this concert. Like, do you want to go?" My versions, I think I had something going on.
I think you did. I give you a hard time,
but I like couldn't go. And then Trey ended up just going by himself. He's like, "Oh, I'll find somebody else." And I talked to him later. He's like, "Oh yeah, I just went by myself." And then I remember, like one day,
those kind of things cut Jeff deep. Jeff's like the realest of the real. So I guarantee you,
Jeff feels really bad whenever I bring this up.
Severe guilt.
He's made up for it since then significantly, but
there's like one day we're both like, I'm at like the Armory and like Trey is there also, like kind of like at a different like table, like cleaning his weapon, and he's playing music on his phone. And I'm like, what? Who's listening to this music? And I like look over and straight. I'm like, no, because I was like, oh, I don't think anyone has the same musical taste as me in the Marine Corps. But like, sure enough, I look over and I'm like, oh no, it's that guy from Sierra. Like, he likes good music. Dang, like
as Grant says, that underground music, right?
Underground music.
Let's go.
Maybe this guy is okay. And then shortly after that, I think we ended up spending a lot of time together, like in training meetings and just shooting the shit in each other's offices.
And then we moved in together.
And then we all lived together. Yeah.
The rest is history. So now we're on a podcast.
Okay. Funny story about that, Matios. These guys, so Jeff really liked when we first met each other that I had a record player. And this is like before hipsters grew mustaches and like cuffed their jeans and like used wax in their hair. Right? Like
got it.
And he thought it was really cool that I had records. And so I had records and they were all literally like my grandfather's records are bought at a yard sale. This is like 2011, 12. And Jeff literally was the person, Jeff and Trey, that taught me they're still making records, Grant. Because I was like, wouldn't it be so cool if like you could just get like a new album put on vinyl because it sounds better on vinyl? And they were like, yeah, you can.
There's a store down the street.
And Trey was like, I've actually spent like $5,000 in the last month. Look at all my new records. And these guys' record collections are insane. But yeah, that's funny because I had no idea. I thought it was like, oh, in the 70s, they released music on vinyl. So you got to go to a yard sale, but you don't.
I mean, I think you do, honestly.
Yeah. Well, before we feed you this data for this tax or ad read, do you have any questions for me? Oh, look, there's a cat. That's beautiful. You have a cat, Matios. Tell us about your cat.
Oh, the baby dragon. Yeah, she's driving me crazy, dude. I thought she was in heat. I taught her how to talk, which was the problem. So now she doesn't shut up. Oh, I didn't even see it, Jeff. Oh, you got a baby dragon too, fam. Yes.
He's having fun. He's so excited to be on.
Yeah, loves to be on camera. Any parting questions before we feed you the bullets?
Yeah, no, I do. I did have the question for you, Grant, was when are we opening a location?
You've never called me Grant.
Redland?
That's kind of offensive. Start over.
My bad, coach. Yeah, my bad. You're right. I do. Here we go. I do got a question for you. My bad. I do got a question for you, coach, and that is, when are we opening a location in Redland?
Will you manage it?
You already know.
Well, there's your answer.
Say less.
There's your answer. All right, I have a question for you before I feed you these nuggets, and we're going to go around the room, and everyone's going to give a nugget, and then you're going to do your best ad read. But before I do that, when was the last time you lifted?
Yesterday, TBH.
What did you do?
Oh, man. All right.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I just throw all the weight I have on, which isn't much. It ain't much. It's just
It's pandemic weight.
Yeah. It's 220 or so. And I just do it repeatedly, dude. I'm waiting on some bumpers. No disrespect. But just,
did you squat?
Straight go bumpers?
Yeah. I did. I'll just go, coach. I'll do sets of 5. Honestly, it's
I love it.
Yeah. It feels good. You know what I mean?
I love it. So we'll give you a couple nuggets. Our sponsor, BW Tax. They're located here in Greenville, South Carolina, but it doesn't really matter where you're located. A lot of people think that your CPA needs to be in your state, in your county, in your city, but you can really do taxes from wherever you need to do taxes. And that would be my nugget of a takeaway. And Jeff, what else would you say about BW Tax?
if you got questions and you want to get them on the phone, like they're going to answer. It's not going to be a chat bot or like a robot that's answering. They're not going to put you on hold for 25 minutes and then say they're going to call you back. And then 2 hours later, when you're at church, they call you back and you can't answer. Like you're going to get somebody on the phone that's going to help you out. So great customer service.
Did you tell them the name? It's BW Tax.
LLC.
Should that be my fact?
LLC.com. Jordan, any nuggets? Go ahead.
You said they're Citadel alum, Boston sports fan.
Yeah, Boston sports fan, Citadel alum, Nuggets.
But I would say, they did my state income tax very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Texas.
You just
So
know
fast.
that there's a lot of government red tape and loopholes and bureaucracy, and cutting through all that is BW Tax's bread and butter.
Yep, that's all right. So with that information, Matios, if you could just give us like
if you put
a little bit
anything together.
If you put together a little ad read, we'll have Jordy put some music over it. We'll tag you on Twitter, but just like that, Matios, we know you've been a fan of BW Tax for a long time. Can you tell us why you love them?
Can I do a quick caveat before you do that?
Yeah.
I usually do this, Matios, and the bar is way down here. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Got it.
usually
You're
does-
gonna crush it.
This is no pressure.
We're ready. Go ahead with your ad read, Matios. Tell us about the good folks over at BW Tax.
Absolutely. BW Tax, I love them. They're based out of South Carolina, but they can do taxes for you anywhere. They have CPAs. They have the team that you need to cut through all the red tape. They did Trey's taxes, got them in and got them out. And we got to mention that whenever you're calling them, don't think you're going to be talking to some chat GPT, some bot. You're not going to be put on hold for 25 minutes and then told we're going to call you back and then end up at church when they finally do and not be able to answer because you're in communion with the people that are around you. And how could you possibly stop? When you make the call, they're going to answer. BW Tax LLC from South Carolina to everywhere.
Oh,
my goodness.
Amen.
Wow. Hall of Fame, baby.
Amen.
Hold on.
What
Amen.
music do we need for that? I'm just trying to think of the music.
It's gotta be a Cumbia music beat.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a Cumbia music beat.
Please. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I had to step away.
Trey got emotional.
Goodness. Dude, these ad reads are getting better and better, man.
Hey, just wait till we get new sponsors. We'll just be telling them no. Sorry, too late.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, Matios, we've really appreciated you coming on. You've been enlightening. I've learned more about the method to the madness of that which is behavioral, occupational, Star Wars health than I've ever known. We appreciate that. Where can the people find you if they liked your vibe, if they liked your hair, if they're watching us on YouTube? I feel like your biggest presence is on X. Is it at Matios GPT?
Matios TV.
Matios TV. Matios
Yes,
TV on all
Matios
platforms.
TV
Yeah,
on all
the
platforms.
name changes a little bit. So at Matios TV, go check him out on X. My favorite thing about Matios is if you ever can't sleep, Matios never sleeps. And so just if you're bored and you need something to do, just go on X, look up his profile, and I guarantee you he's what do you call it, Jordy? X'd? Posted.
Posting?
He's not tweeting. He's because of X, previously Twitter. Yeah, he's Xing at all times of night. And if you're looking for labor, as a business owner, a small business owner, when I've been in need and needed people to do monotonous tasks like box plates and tape them and stack them while listening to Daft Punk, Matios has come and worked for me from 2200 to 03 for your non-military types. That means 10 p.m. to 3 in the morning. He's an asset, but Matios, thanks for coming on.
Hey, appreciate you, Coach. Thank you all. Thank you, Trey, Jordy, Jeff. Love you guys. And the cat, too. That was fire.
And the cat, yeah. So you can go ahead and hang up, and then I know you're going to text me, but I'm not going to read them for about 20 minutes because we still have some of the show to do.
Oh, no, that's fire. I'll cry.
All right, that's good. We'll see you
Appreciate
soon.
it, brother.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Matios.
Thanks for coming on.
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
All right, later.
He's super
Dude.
fire.
Solid guess, man.
It's a vibe.
He's a vibe.
I knew he'd be high energy.
Good
I didn't know what we'd talk about. Yeah, good dude. Oh, that should be our award. Jeff,
Good dude.
what award would you give Matios?
Matios is a good dude.
Good
Good
dude.
dude.
Good dude. Good dude. That was great. I enjoyed that. That ad read was great.
Fun.
Now we got two ad reads.
Yeah, well, I think we have 9 slots,
nine buttons. That's the goal, is to fill all 9 buttons.
Next March, we should have like a March Madness ad read.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, there's a tournament of the ad reads.
It's a tournament of the ad reads.
Have the fans vote.
I love that, actually.
Both of them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, right now we could go head to head this March.
Ooh, it's already the championship.
The finals.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Straight to the championship.
Speaking of championships, Jeff, am I lucky? Is the next slide the NCAA tournament?
It is. You know what the next slide is. Go ahead.
Next
we'll change.
slide.
Okay. Click. Yeah. NCAA tournament. Was anybody shocked about like a team that didn't make it in, like one of those bubble teams? How do we feel? Do we want to go over like Final Four picks?
There was a bunch of bid stealers, weren't there? Like NC State was a bid stealer. I
think the two things that surprised me and that I think are dark horses are NC State, just running through the ACC and finishing with a win over North Carolina State or North Carolina Chapel Hill.
Yeah,
and then South Dakota State 9 in a row.
Is that the Jackrabbits?
Yeah, with which like a Jackrabbit. So if you just play the mascot game, that's a fun game. Who wins, an Arizona Wildcat or a Jackrabbit?
Arizona Wildcat.
That's what I think too. But
is
that how you feel? Is that how you feel at your bracket?
No, but we do have shout out Mike Benner, Slacker, Strength Coast Slacker member. He does every sporting event because he likes sports, like he's a part of the conversation, but he just always, like, when we're getting into in-depth conversations on sports, he'll be like, what are the mascots? And you'll tell him, he'll be like, oh, this team's going to win. And he's right all year.
I was going to say, like, statistically, he probably gets just as many right as anybody else.
He does pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think the Wolfpack's going to go far.
When you say far, like how far?
Elite 8.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think they're hot. I think the Gamecocks are going to crumble, might even lose to Oregon, and then maybe win the first round. But I think I don't think that team's as good as they're led on to. But I think I had Duke, Creighton, North Carolina, Auburn in my Final Four.
Solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Solid.
Bruce Pearl. I'm like a Bruce Pearl believer. Like
Auburn's rolling.
Yeah, I'm all in on Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, that's like, I feel like since Bruce Pearl has been there, like Auburn has just been like a team that's all about being like hot and cold. Like if they get hot, like they can be tough to beat. So we'll see.
So A&M just hired a new athletic director, right?
Jimbo Fisher.
They poached Nebraska's. He was the interim AD.
I know. But
they poached Nebraska's AD, right? And so who does A&M men's and women's play in the first round of the tournament? Nebraska. Now, do you think that just like happenstance, or you think there's like, oh, we gotta get a story out of this?
Dude, I don't think we landed on the moon. You're asking the wrong guy.
But I don't know.
What seed is A&M?
9. 8. Yeah, 9.
Okay, that was one of my questions. Is in those like 8, 9, or like those 5, 10 matchups. What's how do you pick your team there?
Based off the mascot,
the heart, the mascot.
That's it.
I couldn't tell you.
Sorry,
I'm so bad at picking
my cat.
I'm so bad at picking like basketball teams. Just, dude, I don't follow it as closely as I do football. So, like, also, I know the heavy hitters, but that's about it.
The problem with picking the basketball is, it's not going to be the top 6 seeds, right? And it's so easy to look at it and be like, oh, I've heard of this school. They're traditionally good at basketball.
No.
So I always just like pick. So I think I picked San Diego State. I picked College of Charleston, I think they're playing Alabama. So that's a 4 versus a 13. But I was like, one, I'd like to see that happen. And then like some team that no one expects is going to make it further. So like you have to pick a few. I really wanted Long Beach State to go all the way just for Connor's mascotism. But man, paying Arizona right out of the bat, like, oof, that's rough. That's rough.
Trey, who'd you have in your Final Four?
I haven't done it yet. I'm doing it tonight.
Okay.
I was waiting. I was honestly just waiting to see who y'all had, and then just kind of pick.
Me too.
Get something similar.
Jordy, are you making a bracket?
I didn't make one.
You still can.
There's still time.
It's not too
There's
late.
still time.
I think it closes.
Yeah.
It closes Thursday at 11. I think is when it closes.
Yeah.
I'll make one just based off mascots and probably nail it.
There you go.
Yeah, you probably will.
You have
honestly.
just as good a shot as anybody else going off that. Yeah. They're doing one of the opening round, like 2 of the games are in Salt Lake City.
Ooh,
So
nice.
like it's this weekend, so I'm going to be out of town. But like I was like, well, let me just see what tickets are crazy. Like literally, like upper level last row was like $600 for a ticket, and these are like this is like not. I think Arizona was a 2 seed, right? So I think they're the highest seed that's played. But so it's like
It is like 4 games though, isn't it? Like two to 4 games.
2 games. Well, I guess
okay.
they play the first 2 rounds. I think in that. Well, I don't know.
So is that?
I don't know either.
So is there no games played at home?
No,
No, it's all on the road. Because
Yeah.
in women's basketball, where I'm more knowledgeable,
Mhm.
the first round they're just played at the home teams.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
I think the first 2 rounds, but definitely
Forgot.
first round.
Liberal Grant really into women's basketball over
Liberal
here.
Grant, big women's basketball guy. That bracket was easy. It was actually so easy. There's a button at the top that says undefeated South Carolina to go all the way. And you just click yes, and it autofills your bracket with the women
it's like-
Gamecocks. I was like, done.
So
Out of here.
I know you want a rematch of LSU South Carolina. Would that be the finals if it
It'd be-
happened? Or
Yeah, I'd be in the finals. So both Iowa and LSU are on the opposite side. So for us to
Oh.
play either of them, it would be in the finals, which I'm all about. Like I would love.
I would kind of like to see Iowa versus South Carolina as far as
Yeah.
women's go.
Yeah.
I think that'd
That's
be a
what I
really
wanna
good
see.
game.
Yeah, that or LSU. Yeah, but all right. Well, Jordy, you'll have to tell us your final 4 after you do your mascot evaluation.
I got to do
right?
mine too. I'll let you. I'll let you know next week.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal mine now that Trey hasn't done his.
Oh yeah. Well, I revealed mine, so
Yeah, I'll
everyone's
reveal
just
it.
copying.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
care.
go ahead. I know you had
I
Creighton
got-
in there.
Yeah, North Carolina, Creighton, Auburn, and then my wild card pick was James Madison University.
Ooh,
So-
nice.
Ooh.
One of my-
Interesting.
They kind of had they beat Arizona or somebody in like the first game of the year, so I'm like, okay, they have potential to like beat a better team on paper. And then we had this really eccentric like assistant football coach in high school that went to James Madison, so I was like,
Nice.
all right, this one's for him.
They
This
connect.
one's for
They
Coach
they
Cody
can-
Hall.
Coach Cody Hall.
Just-
Shout out potential sponsor.
Coach
Yeah.
Hall.
Yeah, CoachHall.com.
Wide
Yeah.
receivers coach.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he has that domain locked down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised actually.
My kind of coach. So I'd say we got about 12 minutes to go, maybe 10. So
I know we got some topics.
what
Yeah,
what
we'll
high
pull it back
points?
up.
Yeah, we're not going to get through them all, but
If we try.
I did
Yeah.
like this one. I thought it was interesting. Trey posted this one is SEC baseball better than SEC football?
I have my answer. I'd be curious what y'all think.
I mean, I think no way. I mean,
Seriously?
and I mean, okay. SEC baseball is one of the Gamecocks' few claims to fame. If we're saying better, like more fun to watch, more fun to go to a game.
Well, it's baseball versus football. No, I'm
Like more
I'm
dominant.
talking about dominant, like top to bottom.
Yeah, I'd say baseball is more dominant.
Yeah, I think it's deeper.
Yeah,
Dude, it's like everybody. Like
yeah,
it's
everybody.
like I don't know how many are in the top 20, but it's just like I like Arkansas is good. Didn't LSU win last year? Ole Miss won the year before. Vanderbilt's always solid.
Yeah, Vanderbilt, crazy. They're good at anything.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah, it's the Southeast in general is just kind of like a hotbed for baseball. So I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
Because football is like the SEC is usually pretty dominant, but it's just very top heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 5 good teams.
And they're good. They're good. Like really good.
Yeah.
But baseball just seems to be like top to bottom. Like
Wild.
I don't know. They're all heavy hitters. Yeah.
Good pun.
Mm.
Oh,
Heavy
a
hitters.
baseball joke. I get
Boom,
it.
boom. You know the Bible verse about baseball, right?
No. What does it say?
Genesis 1-1 in the big inning. Boom, boom. There's a tennis joke. There's a tennis joke in there too. Jacob served in Pharaoh's court.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Eve stole first. Adam stole second.
But who's on first?
Big Bible sports guy.
Big Bible. A lot of sports in the Bible.
What if that's the last 10 minutes of this episode? It's just great, just going through maybe Bible sports jokes.
Great, could go for a whole.
I got more.
That's all it is.
All right, next.
Brought to you by BW Taxi.
What else?
Did you and Trey want to talk about the final episodes of Dynasty? I haven't watched it yet, but
I haven't watched the last one.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude,
So
have you watched it? Have you watched any of them?
Yeah, I've watched all of them. So I'll say this, and I'll be interested. I want Trey to have this dogma going in. I do not like how much they slight Bill Belichick, and I want to know who's paying for it. I like the show. I think Brady's a class. I think Brady's a class. I mean, Robert Kraft must have produced it. Brady's a class act. He's like, hey, no relationship's perfect, this, that. But they make Bill Belichick seem so bad. And
interesting.
Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting way to frame that.
From what I've seen so far, they make him, he always just comes across as just like no comment. Like,
I mean, that's
very distant,
yeah,
like has no emotion and just, I don't know. I know that's his thing, but that's how he's come across so far.
Yeah, I'd be
Does he come across worse?
The last two episodes get pretty fiery. It's good though. But I think Jeff, you'll love it. It's it's a great documentary, and it just shows like some of the stuff. Like there was different like riffs with players and stuff. Like I think the second to last episode was the most interesting between like Belichick and Malcolm Butler. But yeah, it's just what's interesting though is you have all these players and you know they're complaining about different things the coach is doing or this or that, but then like when they win, it just fixes everything.
Yep.
But then like when they started losing, they're just like, oh, Belichick sucks. But like when they're winning, they're like, oh, it's all because Belichick works so hard. And then they lose, like, oh, he sucks. And it's interesting. But yeah, you'll love that documentary. But careful. That's one where I went to watch one episode the other night and there was two left and I stayed up.
You're just
15 minutes later than I should. Yeah. And I was like, now I need to watch it again.
Is it just covering like the Belichick, like Brady era with like the Super Bowls, or does it kind of go?
It's the whole thing.
Kraft. It starts with Kraft purchasing them. That's kind of where it picks up.
Yeah. Saying he wants to, bring in championships to New England. And then Kraft's painted really well of like, he realized there was issues and his job was to like keep them together as long as possible.
Go to massage parlors.
Yeah, go to massage parlors and just that was to keep the team together. It was the only way. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I gotta watch that. We got a couple episodes left of Masters of the Air. I think we just watched 6 or 7 last night. Man, that show's good.
Trey, are you current?
No, I got 2 more.
Okay, I got 2 more too. But so you guys have all seen Buck not make it, right? But then he comes back.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly comes back or allegedly doesn't make it?
Either.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I was like, oh, they haven't, because I feel like wasn't there still there was like some confusion around like, oh, did shoots open up? So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's gonna be at some camp or something.
I'm on the one where they introduced the Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that one. I think I have 3 left. Yeah.
Okay. We've been waiting for that episode because we're like, they're in the intro.
You see them, yeah. You
like,
see them.
Where do they fit in with this? Okay.
So a documentary just came out called like the 100th Day or something. That's like it's a documentary on those guys, but all the B-rolls from Masters of the Air. It came out on Apple TV and it like soared to number 1. I forget what it's called, the 100th something, but yeah. Anyway.
Man.
Well,
yeah.
This is good. We can't even get through all of our topics. That's when you know you got a real podcast.
You didn't even touch fishing, man.
Yeah, man, we didn't even talk about fishing.
Because you said you caught 30 fish?
So in my head, I thought it was I knew it was more than 30. And when I texted the guide, I was like, my wife thinks I'm lying. He goes, well, honestly, it was closer to 50. He said it was his best day this year.
Nice.
But to be honest,
big was it? Fish this big?
None of them were big. I definitely missed like some nice ones, right? Like when good ones got on, but there was like a 2-hour period where the bite was on, and it was like any seam I hit, they just bit. And it was just like bring them in. I mean, there was sometimes like on a back cast, like, back pause, boom, getting bit. I mean, it was crazy.
Probably full moon the night before.
I think I photographed like 3, and I was like, I didn't even care, but I was just like, I didn't even document
at that point
how many fish this was. It was crazy. So,
were you still just nymphing, or like was there a hatch going and you were?
There was a hatch going. We
water?
did some nymphing. We did some. I still haven't caught one off a dry fly. I definitely tried that day. I still haven't caught one off a dry fly. Mostly nymphing. We definitely did some like roll casting, still water, some sight fishing. That was actually kind of what he was working on me. It's actually funny. So, and maybe we'll end with this. He was like, you needed today, huh? Like, as we're like changing out of waiters. And I was like, I did, man. Like, come back from the Arnold. Like, you're just so busy. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, it's just nonstop. And I was like, and then just all day, it's like your phone rings and you stop and you're recording something, and then your phone rings and this happens. And then like, it's just like all day long. And I don't know if he wasn't really listening to me or what. And he goes, oh, dude, I'm not going to beat you up all day long forever. Like, today was just a day where I need to teach you a bunch. And I was like, what? And he's like, are you saying like I was too tough on you today? I was like, no, dude, I don't care at all how you treat me. Because he does treat you like terrible. Like, you catch fish. What are you doing, Grant? You done brogied that again. Why don't you? He just like constantly like berates you. It's hilarious. And I was like, no, I was talking about my business, not about the fishing. The fishing was great. But yeah, it was a good day. Trey, we know you've been practicing. Sign us off.
All day, every day.
What episode are we on? 0, 1, 2.
Yep.
Correct?
That's
correct.
All right, guys.
Verified.
Sign us off real quick, boys. Guys, I just want to thank everybody for tuning into the
Okay.
You've been listening to episode 0, 1, 2. Want to thank our sponsors, BW Tax LLC. Hey, April 17th is coming up pretty quick. 15th, 17th. Which one is it? I don't know.
Maybe extended. That's what BW
maybe
Tax
extended. I don't know. You got to reach out to them.
Know.
BW Tax definitely knows when it is. Reach out to them if you got any questions. Want to thank them again for sponsoring this episode. The sponsorship window is closing very quickly.
Rapidly.
Reach out, please. Very, very soon. Please reach out. You can find us on all social. Well, you can't find us on Facebook, right? But you can find us on Instagram, X. But the best way is to go to www.theokpodcast.com.
Nice.
That's right.
Thanks for
Subscribe
listening,
on YouTube. Leave us a comment on Spotify. And as LeVar Burton would say, we'll see you next time.